Welcome to this week's lesson on scanning and digitizing images to Autocad. Now, the importance of this is being able to take a hard copy that you might have or an image and be able to reproduce it in AutoCAD by using it as an overlay. I'll show you how to do it, and you'll see how important it can be to you out in the field, because sometimes you don't always have the soft copy. And the soft copy is what we use the term for files that are saved, like your drawing files in AutoCAD. A hard copy is the actual printed out drawing, the map, set of plans. It's actually the paper copy that you've printed out. So sometimes you just have either that hard copy or you got some type of picture image and you want to replicate that on AutoCAD, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. First thing you're going to do is now I've showed you can bring this in with XREF. We worked on XREF a couple classes ago, but you can also, this is the quickest way to do an image, to bring an image in my opinion, and it works just like XREF. It's just come up here and hit insert, and then come down here, and inside of insert you got all kinds of things. I just use an attach in the references here. Now you could bring it in as a block just like we did earlier, or you can just do an attach here, and it's more like an XREF style. And I want to come in here, and again, any image you have, you can bring it into AutoCAD. You can bring a GIF file, you can bring a JPEG, you can bring a PDF. Now, one thing that you got to remember, I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's just the compatibility, but it seems like a PDF, when you use it in AutoCAD, it slows the system down. You're better off if you can convert it to a JPEG or a GIF file as opposed to PDF. Now you can use a PDF, but my experience has been it slows the computer down. So this one I have here is a land survey. They handed this to me, and I'm going to do my best to replicate it here, and I'll show you how to do this. So just hit open on that land. This is a GIF file, and I'm just going to put it in here. I'm just going to hit OK on this and just screen pick it in, hit enter. Now this is an image, and if you'll notice, I come up here and I can touch the edge of it with my cursor. You see that? And this screen comes up. You can adjust the brightness on this back and forth, the contrast back and forth. Actually, I like that contrast a little better right there. You can also create clipping. You can clip the boundaries and different things like that. And what's meant by that is if you do this, if you come in here and create boundary and you put a line over it, see how it's just like clipping a picture if you've ever worked in paint and things like that. But anyways, the major thing I want to show you here is where you can turn this image on and off. It's really good to know how to do that. And basically what we're going to do here is come up here to format, and I want to set my points up. Remember how we've been working with points a little bit? I want to go in here and set this to absolute, and I'm just going to put a number in. I'll just put like 0.2 or something of that effect. Find myself a point pattern that I like. And I want to come in here to start this thing out, and I'm going to go back into home, draw, and hit point, and I'm going to catch this, just eyeball this right to the dead center of it. Right there. I'm going to come down here now, catch the dead center of that, where those lines cross. Come down here, and we're just going to do the best that we can to get this in here. And this, like I said, this doesn't have to be, there might be something real simple that you're doing on this that you don't have to have the precision you would on something that you would have to take and have a permit or something by. Maybe they just want this piece of land drawed up, and just the boundary, just to use at the courthouse or something like that, at a PVA office. I don't know. Something to that effect. It doesn't have to be dead on accurate, but it has to have all the right data on it. Now you see how I put all those points in there, and you can see my point style is really big. So now what I can do is I need to come up here and I'll hit these points as well, just so we can get those lines in. Make sure I have my point on. Gotta watch out about that object snap being on there. We'll turn that down a little bit. Come up in here. I'm just going to point right there. Point right there. And then basically that's all I see. Now what I want to do is I'll click the edge of this and I'm just going to turn this off. And my points are huge, so I'm going to go back there and fix that. Go to Format, Point Style, and I want to set this down to about 0.1. See if that makes a whole lot of difference. Still a little bit large, but that's okay. Also, if you don't have this menu bar to get to it, come up here and click this little button down here to get to that format, and it's a menu bar. Mine says hide menu bar there. See, this might be how yours is. Just click on that and show menu bar, and it'll put that menu bar up for you. Now basically all I'm going to do is take and I want to start drawing this in. Make sure that your object snap is set in settings to node. Mine is, so I'm good shape. So I want to hit, I want to use polyline. I'll catch there to there to there. And honestly, I don't remember exactly how it goes, so I'll click on this. So it comes down to there, there, back around, and back up. Okay. So now hit home, polyline, there to there, to there, to there, to there, back there, and then there's a polyline from there to there. And again, let's take a look. Alright, it's coming off that edge right there is another polyline. And really we can just grab polyline. It's right there. And I'm wondering what this point right there is. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got it all looking halfway decent. I guess this line right here, I didn't even need this point right there. I'm going to delete that one out. And then I want to take and I want to hide that image again. Right there. And let's take and delete that. I'm going to put that line back in. That looks a little bit better for that boundary. So this is basically what they had on there, and really and truly if I just want this boundary I wouldn't have to have these other lines, would I? So I'm just going to pull that in here on these. Really and truly I don't even need that one or this one. And I want to go in here now and turn my point style off by, don't delete them, just come up here and just put them where they're invisible, hit OK. And there's that piece of property. Now there's a few more things I want to do, and this might be an easy thing that might help you as well. Go in there, hit insert again, and I could do it from there. It's the same thing as XREF whenever you do this. It's just another location of where it's at. When you go to insert, attach, I want to put me another one right over here on the side, that way I can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, just like that. Now this is 300 foot right here, and we've got some bearings on here as well. And that's how we're going to get our direction. Okay? So with this, let's do a few things. Now AutoCAD's not really suited. It does a pretty good job with the civil field, but most of the time when you're doing like surveying, you'd have surveying CAD or Carlson attached to it that would really help you with a lot of extra tools. But we can do quite a bit on here. I mean, we can draw the whole thing up. It just those other programs attached to it makes it a little bit easier. There's a lot more tools that you can utilize. But for us, this is what we're going to do. First, we need to get this direction of all this stuff in the right way. So this 68, so we're coming down 68 degrees west. So what I want to do is go home line. I want to start me a line right there, and I want to type in at and I'm just going to put in a number. We'll do 50 foot angle south 68 D for degrees and 0 minutes 0 seconds west. Let's see where that line, okay, it shoots it right down through there. This line should be parallel with this line right here, and it looks pretty close, pretty close. What we're going to do is come up here to parametric. This is a pretty handy little thing, is parallel. And those lines are parallel now. So undoubtedly I didn't see even any of the moving going on with it, but it looked like it's pretty straight and none of the lines broke. So I think we've got this thing set up in its direction pretty close. Alright, so all you have to do now, we got that set up. The next thing is scale. We've got to scale. We've got it all set in the right direction. Now we've got to scale this thing. And the best way to scale is this. You see this is 296.5 feet. Well, let's go in here real quick with ours. Let's check it and see what dimension we have on this. And we need to do an alignment between the 2 points. And you can see it's only 0.304 inches. Our scale factor is majorly off. Now, we're needing this to be 296.5 feet. And we're only at 0.304. The best way I can tell you to do this, go to calculator and pull this up. Bring this in here so we can see it a little bit better. So 296, take your 296.5 and let's convert it to inches, because we've got inch dimension up here. So let's just take and times it by 12, which would be put into inches. There's 3,558 inches is what this length of this line is. And our actual measurement in CAD is 0.304 inches. So what we got to do is take this number, the original size, and divide it by this number, which is 0.304 equals. So we have to scale this thing up 11,703.95 times to get it fairly accurate. And let me show you how to do that. It's really simple. It's going back to your CAD 100, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll just leave it right there. We'll just scale it up with it. We'll scale all this. Grab all that, come over here to home and do a scale. Catch your base point, which would be right there, and type it in. Type in your number, which is 11,703. 11,703.95, or we'll just put 0.947. 947. Enter. Okay, so I'll hit Z for zoom, A for all, and now I'll zoom in here and you can see that number. You had to zoom in to look at it. We're getting 296 feet, and when you do the engineering, it puts this into feet and inches instead of doing tenths of a foot like most engineering drawings are. This is supposed to be 296.5 feet. We're getting 296 feet and 6.4498 inches. So we might have to go in there and scale it again. We're pretty close. 296.5 foot would be 296 feet and 6 inches, so we're about 0.4498 off. So you might go back in there and do the same thing again. Take your original number and divide it by this, and he'll provide you the scale factor, and go in there and fit that. We should have went to a few more extra points on our calculator. We just evened it up to 47. Just put all these numbers right here in there, and it'll put it right on the money for you. So now we've got this thing scaled in pretty close. What I would recommend to you is when you go over to print this, go ahead and I don't have my civil template up, but go into your layout, and let's say I want to put this on A size paper. we got to figure out a good scale, and it'd always be in a civil drawing. It'd be like 1 inch equals 10 foot, 20, 100 foot. It'd always be in 10, 20, 40, 50, or 60 increments. So I'm going to put in there, do a custom scale. And I want to add in, we'll do 1 inch equals 50 foot. I'm just guessing. Change it right here. Hit OK. And let's see what that makes of it. Pretty close. Might be just a little bit too big. So let's try 1 inch equals 60 foot. 1 inch equals 60 foot, and I think that will be really close. There, that looks really good to put that on there. So when I go back into model space, it's so much easier, and I'll go ahead and just I'll leave this up so I can work off of it. I'm going to put in 1 inch equals 60 foot. Would set my text up, annotative, and let's go ahead and just do some work on that. Modify. I would go in there and put a really nice looking, and you can set up your own, make your new text style, but I'm just going to do I'm just going to use the annotator there and just edit it. Use Times New Roman would be fine. And the height I want is 0.125 inches. Apply to that and close. Now we've got 1 inch equals 60 foot. Now I want to show you what I would do. If I go up here to dimensions, I've already got this set up. I could check this, and of course we need to do a little, you might have to go in there and rescale like we talked about and get this thing a little closer. It's off by 0.4. It's about off about a half of an inch according to this. If you even go around it, everything should be moderately close, even though, because we were just eyeballing those points. This is 300, it's supposed to be 300 exactly. This is 310 inches. Really close. Now, of course, this, like I said, is not going to be precise, but this could be used for things that are visual. I mean, if somebody wanted something that's not going for anything like permits, it has to be dead accurate as far as the drawing of it. We'll have all the data right on it. It's just going to be more or less for visual for somebody to look at. But the numbers going to be pretty close. They're going to be really close. And it'll save you a lot of time if you don't have the field data and everything else, and of course if it's nothing really strenuous on precision. But anyways, let's go in here. I've already got my text set up. I just used annotative. I set my text to 0.125. We're going to use the annotative side here. I want to show you a real quick trick. If you're going to try to type something and follow lines, type in UCS, User Coordinate System, okay? And hit enter. You got all kinds of things here. And what I do is when I click that in, I just basically come here and click on this point to this point and just hit enter. So click this point and this point, and you see how it made my X follow this line? Now I can come up here and do a multi-line text or a single line text, whatever I wanted to do, and I can type this stuff in on that angle. So you can go 296.50 feet. We'll take it up here, just put it over top of it. And then I could do the same thing. You do multi-line or single line text, it doesn't matter. You come down here just underneath of it. Only thing, whenever you use single line text, that might be another good way, but I just want to show you that UCS, when you use multi-line, it'll follow that. and underneath of it I'd hit cap lock south. 68, the degree sign is percent. I'm thinking it's percent D. Zoom in here. It is percent D provides you with the percent sign, or you can come up here into symbols and find it. 68 degrees and 0 minutes 0 seconds west. Okay, so now you'd have those two. You just bring them over here and put them back in there. I've got that snap turned on. You got to watch out for that. Grab that. We'll slide it right underneath here. Eyeball it in. Just go around and do that for everything. Put all your data in here, and that's it. It's not too bad. But also, if you're using that UCS to do multi-line, to get that in the right angle, to get that off, just go back to UCS, enter, and type in W for world, and hit enter, and it takes it back to its original XY location. If you have any problems with this, just let me know.